The children of Reem Zidane are mourning their mother today. "Come back, answer me," says her son Zain. Behind him, his 15-year-old brother Ahmed explains to a reporter why they'd risk trying to get to the aid site. "Everything's been under siege," he says. "Of course we were going to go. My mother was telling my brother, 'Lean over, lower your head, do what I'm doing.' My brother turned his head, and then a bullet went into her head. We are supposed to be able to eat with dignity. We're supposed to receive aid without humiliation, without being disgraced." It was Reem's 5th attempt to get aid from the new US-Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation in Gaza's far south. She'd returned with nothing each previous time, losing out to those faster, stronger, in the chaotic competition the new aid system has created. This was the 3rd consecutive morning of Israeli shooting in the vicinity of one of the GHF sites. On this occasion, the military confirming it had fired toward what it called suspects who'd left the main route. Gaza's health ministry reported 27 people killed, nearly 200 injured.
I was in the way at 3:30 in the morning. There was shooting and I lay down. I don't know how the bullet hit my head.
If it seems extraordinary that again so many stayed on through the shooting to try for the aid, these are the stakes in Gaza right now.
This is a bloodbath with bits of food soaked in it. We go there to die. They fire bullets and shells at us, and quadcopters fire at us. All of this is death.
We see people killed in front of us and end up leaving empty-handed. We're tired of this. Maybe people will be able to get aid if their IDs were checked.
That was GHF's original plan. Nominated representatives, irises scanned, taking days' worth of food back to their families. It has not run as advertised. Since Sunday's shooting, GHF and the Israeli military have been closely aligned, both condemning media lies, both denying incidents at or near the aid site, Israel's army admitting only to firing warning shots further away. Today, a change in approach. Israel admitting that this morning warning shots were followed by the real thing.
And as some of the suspects continued, despite these warning shots, advancing towards the troops in a threatening manner, further fire was directed near these specific individuals.
But doubling down on the accusation that media were reporting Hamas propaganda without verification.
June 1st, Hamas claimed Israel had killed 31 people at an aid site in Rafah. The New York Times and others ran with it. Then we've released an Israeli drone footage showing that Hamas gunmen opened fire on the crowd. Now, did the media lead with that correction? No.
For good reason, as it turns out. The footage, used in a separate government briefing today, is from a different location and time. Our colleagues in Gaza say the gunmen belong not to Hamas, but an armed gang that was selling stolen aid. This evening, Israel's military released new footage of its troops in Gaza's far north. It follows news overnight that 3 Israeli soldiers had been killed in the fighting there. Israel's Prime Minister calling their deaths a heavy price, promising to achieve all the goals of the war. In southern Khan Yunis, more evacuation orders as Israeli troops expand operations there. For Gaza's civilians, the achievements of this war counted in increments of misery.
Well, joining me now from Al-Mawasi near Rafah is Hammash Young, who's the Senior Emergency Coordinator for UNICEF in Gaza. Now, Israel says this aid operation is working and millions of people are getting food. What's your assessment?
Good evening, Christian. Our assessment is that it's not working for all the reasons you've just seen. There are large crowds gathering. They're moving in. The whole situation is chaotic and uncontrolled, and people are being shot. I think we can quibble over the numbers, but the fact is, and I don't think anyone's disputing it now, the tens and tens of people have been shot over the last 3 days. And that is just absolutely unacceptable. The Secretary General's called for an investigation, an independent investigation yesterday. That was even before before today's killings, which have only added to the need for this to stop immediately.
Do you think it can be made to work, or does it need to be abandoned?
The current structure can't be made to work. It's inherently flawed in its basic design. It does not adhere to accepted international humanitarian principles and humanitarian practice, the sort of thing that the UN agencies and a lot of very large international NGOs have been following for many, many years. What we have done, what we've demonstrated works very clearly is not something that we've just come up with in the last few months for this war. It's honed from years and years of practice of doing this stuff, lessons learned, reviews, evaluations over and over again to get this right. We demonstrated during the ceasefire that when we've got access and we've got enough supplies, we can deliver.
But Israel claims that it was Hamas that was giving out the aid, not the UN. What's the truth?
That's simply not true. The UN was giving out all the supplies. I certainly put my hand on my heart and vouch for UNICEF. We were giving out the supplies. The UN was giving out the supplies, and the internationally recognized NGOs were giving out the supplies. I think, Christian, it's important to note that during the ceasefire, when there were many, many thousands of trucks coming, I think you'll recall that was 600 a day was part of the ceasefire agreement. The United Nations and the internationally recognized NGOs were accountable for only about 35% of that. There was another 65% that were brought in by bilaterals and other organizations. So I think if you want to look for any problems, you need to look into that 65%. The aid brought by the United Nations and the NGOs is distributed in an extremely rigorous way. We have monitoring, we have post-distribution checking, we have audits, we have independent third-party verifications. We have all sorts of mechanisms, like I say, that have been honed over many, many years of practice to ensure that the aid gets to the right people. And if I can just add on that, I mean, speaking from UNICEF, we're bringing baby food, we're bringing nutritional supplies for malnourished children. Do you really think anyone wants to divert that? We're bringing vaccines for babies.
Well, what is the current state of hunger in Gaza at the moment?
I think exactly what you saw on the videos just now and what you've heard on the reports. If people are desperate enough to go back day after day and risk getting shot, when everybody knows, every single person in Gaza knows what's happening there, yet they're still prepared to take the risk to go and try and collect just a modicum of food, whatever they can. That speaks volumes for how desperately hungry people are here.
Hammash Young, thank you very much indeed.